Morning. It's absolutely clear to me that football teams, football clubs, owners of football clubs really do not deserve the fans that turn up week in and week out. We've seen on the news and over social media the fans of Everton getting really irate and upset at their owners. West Ham fans as well, kicking off about their club and where they're at and so on. And yesterday really brings it home even more to me, if I'm honest. Not that I ever doubted it really before, but it's just so frustrating. All the talk before the game, all the talk before the game was about, what's that saying? Was about the fans making such a difference, being the 12th man, really doing, making it uncomfortable for the opposition and all the rest of it. And yesterday, the Tottenham fans did that, in my opinion. The atmosphere was really good at the start of the game. The pubs was buzzing, the fans was buzzing. There was a good atmosphere on the concourses and everyone was really, really up for it because this was really an opportunity to show what you're made of. If ever there was a game to really show what you're about, it's that one, right? It's the North London derby. It's your local rivals. It's the team you love to hate. They're flying high. They're top of the league. If you can't get up for that, then what can you get up for? What really kind of floats your boat? And I really can't believe it's all just about money, because we all make money and they make exceptional money, but it can't just be about money. After you've made so much money, surely the money's almost immaterial because you've got enough forever anyway. So there's got to be a level of pride and that kind, something like that in your head, that you really want to beat those people, really want to beat those main rivals, right? And I've got to be honest, I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. I had a horrible feeling before the game anyway. You wanna think to yourself, no, it's going to be all right. You'd never want to bet against your own team. But I did have a horrible feeling that the way we've been playing, we just weren't going to turn up. And that proved to be the case. I mean, Hugo, I've said it before and I'll say it again, great shot stopper. But what is he doing? What is he doing for a cross? Initially, from where I was sitting, I thought that Saka was offside. I haven't seen it again. He clearly wasn't. But like in my head, when I was watching it, I thought, oh, it's offside. It's no big deal. They'll blow the whistle or VAR will sort it out, whatever. But it was a cross that he palmed into his own net, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing in a circumstance like that? That is just not good. I'm always shaky. I'm always shaky when the ball gets played around the back with Hugo, because I've never considered him any good at kicking. He always kicks it out of play or to the opposition players, that then puts you back under pressure again. And funny enough, I felt a little bit more comfortable when Forrester was in goal the other week. So, listen, I'm not doubting Hugo's quality. He's been a quality keeper for us. Best goalkeeper we've had probably since Pat Jennings, to be honest. So I don't really want to be too critical of him, but something's not right there, and we definitely need some kind of strategy or plan for the future for that, because it can't carry on, especially when your back line is as shaking and as leaky as ours is. I mean, the second goal, again, from that distance, no one's closing him down. Why are you not getting in front of him? Why are you not chasing that down and getting in the way? It beggars belief. It absolutely beggars belief to me. And from that moment on in time, you just knew. And they can huff and puff as much as they want in the second half, and they can run around and all the rest of it. But for me, it was just never going to happen. You could see, I've said it so many times, if you don't cross the ball, no one's gonna get at the end of it. And if you can't cross a ball, then what's the point in playing wing backs? I honestly just don't get it. You know, neither of them, Doherty or Cess, will take a man on. They just don't. They just don't take a man on. And I'm like, well, what's the point? You're not going to get. You've got to get around it outside of them. Surely you've got to take him on. Sessegnon cannot do anything with his right foot. He just passes back all the time, and it's so frustrating when you think with your pace and your, you know, and your ability, you should be able to run. But this is a kid who was one of the, you know, PFA Young Players of the Year kind of thing. You know, I mean, he was really sought after. We bring him to Tottenham and we ruin him. You know. And a lot of that, you cannot ignore the fact that Conte's style of football is not working at this moment in time. You can't ignore it. As much as I despair if we lost Conte, where we go from there, because I just cannot see where there's going to be any improvement. We just end up going back to projects and pissing about, you know, all over the place. And you've got to have a longer term strategy than what we've got. And he is a world-class manager who's won things. So I don't know, what, you can't go up from there, in my opinion. Where do you go? You know, you look at Chelsea with the amount of managers they go through and all the rest of it. You know, is Potter an upgrade on Tuchel? I honestly don't see it. So I worry about it from that point of view, but certainly something's got to change. I mean, you know, not making substitutions when you're 2-0 down until sort of 70 minutes. My son said to me, you don't get it, you don't understand why he would leave it that long. And then to bring Brian and whoever else it was, it escapes me now, for 2 minutes. Why? What is the point of that? You know, what do you think you're achieving from that? It's just pointless. Anyway, apart from that, overall, how am I going to say this without it coming across as bitter? I didn't feel at the time that we were constantly under pressure and going to get ripped apart at any moment by Arsenal. But my question to myself is that because they didn't need to? They didn't need to. They're 2-0 up. They've had their chances. All they've got to do is hold on to it. So that makes sense, doesn't it? So maybe that's, you know, covering me off, you know, covering off that issue. I felt that we had a lot of the ball, we had opportunity to kind of push on, but we never made any headway. There was a couple of half crosses from Kulu who looked really bright, but apart from that, there was nothing in that game. There was nothing in that game to make me feel that we could match them or we were going to get anything in it. So ultimately, they deserve to win. And listen, if they're going to win the league, they're going to win the league because they deserve it, right? They're beating everybody who's put in front of them. They're racking up the points. Everybody else is inconsistent. What can you do? You've just got to, you know, carry on regardless. I mean, you know, maybe at the end of the season we'll all just go on holiday somewhere where they don't talk about football and try and hide away from it if they win it. But you know, I wouldn't have said that they were fantastic playing. You know, I didn't think they overawed us. But then I wonder whether they even really felt they needed to. Did they need to get out of second gear? They probably didn't. And you know, it is what it is. But I'm just at a loss. I'm just at a loss with it. It's really annoying and really upsetting to put all that into it. Like from a fan's perspective, I mean, I'm on the road with the rest of the South Dorset Spurs boys and girls at sort of 8:30, 8:45 in the morning. We don't get home until 11 o'clock at night. Spend all our time there and all the rest of it, just to see that kind of level of commitment and performance. It makes you question why you put yourself through it. And a lot of people will go, "Don't go," and all the rest of it. I've paid for my season ticket. I've paid for my season ticket. So if I don't go, I'm just throwing my money away. I've just thrown my money away, right? And if I give up my season ticket, I'm never going to get one again. So they've got you, catch-22. Where do you go from here? Okay, you could try and sell your season ticket. The clubs still get their money, they still get their people. And like I've said before, I generally don't buy anything in the stadium. I generally don't buy merch or anything like that. I've got some shirts which kids buy me for birthdays and stuff, but generally speaking, I don't buy merch. If anything, I'll buy it from Mario. So I don't put that much more into the club than my season ticket. But how do you really show them, how do you really impact them? And ultimately, do they really give a shit? Do they really care? I mean, I was having a conversation with a guy next to me and I said, Daniel Levy couldn't give a monkey's whether we win a silverware or not. As long as the stadium's full every week and as long as they're getting their money behind the bar and they're selling merchandise worldwide and TV rights and football, rugby, concerts, boxing and all the rest of it's all going on. I mean, he's got a cash cow that's going to keep on giving. So why should he care whether we get any silverware? Because it makes no real difference. You go into the Champions League. We've been in the Champions League. Did they spend any money to really bring us the top players? No. We've been in the, we've got to a final. We've got the ultimate stadium and the training facility. We've got all of that. We've got all the trappings of this big club. And I think that's half the problem. They've given us this idea of a big club mentality. We are a big club. For every fan's club is a big club to them. It's their club. They've supported them probably all their lives. Their dads, their granddads, their mums, their grandmothers, whatever, have supported them. Their whole families have supported them for generations. And so for you, they are the big club. They are the club that deserves to be there. Everyone's club deserves to be there. Everyone's club can't afford to be there. Everyone's club is not going to be there. But that passion from a fan is the only true thing about a football team. Everything else is fluff and fuss because the players' relationship is different, the owner's relationship is different, the manager's relationship is different, the employee's relationship is different. It's all nothing. So we build ourselves up that we deserve to be there and we want. But for them, it's just a business. It's just a business that creates money that they can get rich off of, whatever. And so I asked the question again, is mid-table mediocrity where we deserve to be? Is that all we're going to get? Because I really don't feel that we're going to push on or move anywhere further, even with a top manager like Conte. We're showing that already. We're halfway through to January, murmurings of a player here and there, nothing major, nothing really good. We should be going out and getting the best right wing back in the world. That's what we should be doing. The best left wing back in the world. If that's how you're going to play, then that's what you need to go out and get. If you need a really good plan B, then you need the best central attacking midfielder in the world. Not some bloke who plays for a team that's likely to get relegated or some team in the middle of nowhere that you've never heard of. That's, with potential. That's not what you're going to do. That's not what teams like Man City do. That's not what teams like Chelsea do. They go out, and Liverpool, they go out and they get the best for the position that they need to cover. They break the bank, they go for it. And our team's never going to do that. So essentially we're kidding ourselves and we are disappointing ourselves week in and week out. Football is the biggest sport in the world. It creates more than anything else. You wouldn't be watching this video of me talking about it if you wasn't invested in your football team, in our football team. Do you get what I mean? You're not watching this because I'm such a great guy. You're watching this because you want to hear my opinion about the game yesterday, or how I felt it went, or listen to me moan or whatever. And that's what football does. It creates that passion. But the passions of the fans is different from anybody else. So we have to tip our hat and go, okay, on to the next one. Let's see what happens. Beat Man City on Thursday. everything's rosy in the garden again for 10 minutes. But at doing that, what are we doing? We're helping our biggest rival get closer to the promised land. It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? Anyway, we move on to the next game. We're not going to support another team. We're not going to move away. We're still going to be talking about it next season and in years to come. We love our club. Up the Spurs.